Hey Scratchers, welcome to my ysort tutorial. Ysorting is when we change the drawing order based on the Y position of our avatar. This means if our avatar is overlapping the bottom half of the bush, draw the bush behind the avatar. And if the avatar is overlapping the top half of the bush, draw the bush in front of the avatar. This adds another level of immersion to our game, giving a greater feeling of depth. Today, I will show you how to add this feature to your Scratch RPG. If you haven't created a Scratch RPG yet, I have created a starter project for you so you can follow along. Let's start by remixing the starter project. Pause the video here and type into your web browser the project link. I also provided the links in the description of this video as well. After pressing enter, click the remix button. Once the project editor loads, you may wish to delete the thumbnail sprite. Next, click on the File menu, and then click Save as a Copy. Once it saves, you may want to rename the project. I rename mine Scratch RPG ysort. Great, let's start coding. First, click into the tile sprite. Then click the Costumes tab. Scroll the Costumes tab until you find the bush costumes. We want to add an asterisk or star character to the beginning of the two bush costumes. We should also add the asterisk to the sign, the stump, the axe, and the unlit fire. We will see in a minute why this is important. I also added an asterisk to the lit fire pits as well. Add the asterisk to any tile you want to ysort later. With that finished, click back into the Code tab and make some space. We're going to create a My block called Paint Layer 3 Ysorted. And then click Run without screen refresh. Scroll up and find the Paint Layer My block. Then duplicate all the code under it. Attach the duplicated code to our newly created Paint Layer 3 Ysorted My block. We then remove the first old input variable, layer number, and replace it with the number 3. And then we remove layer number -1 and replace it with the number 2. Are you following along so far? Now we need to create another My block called ysort, also clicking Run without screen refresh. Before using our My block, create a new variable, also called ysort, clicking for this sprite only. Attach an if-then block under our ysort block, and then add an equals operator to it. Plug our ysort variable into the left so it reads if ysort equals 0. Build the rest of our script by dragging switch costume to big to the end and drag the stamp block inside. Then connect the whole thing back into the original My block at the dashed red line. After all that shuffling around, take a moment to pause the video and make sure everything matches my example. If it does, then great! Now we can build the actual ysorting script. Start by setting the ysort variable to 0. Next, we find what costumes have an asterisk in the name. Code this using the string contains string operator. Use an if to check that the costume name contains asterisks. Now place the less than operator in an if block. Grab a thing of thing block from the sensing category and set the right side to the player sprite and the left side to the GIDX variable. Since our avatar's position is on layer 1, we need to find a way to compare the position to the tiles on layer 3 in the grid list. We can subtract gmul multiplied by 2 from GIDX to work this out. To finish our ysort script, set the ysort variable to 1. Let's find when I receive paint layer 3 and make some space. Remove the old paint layer MyBlock and replace it with the new paint layer 3 ysorted MyBlock. We are now ready to test. Click the green flag. We can see when the player is below the bush, ysort becomes 1, and when the player is above the bush, ysort becomes 0. However, the bush still draws on top of the player. Let's fix that now. Go back to the code and click into the player sprite. Find when I receive, tick player, and make some space. Drag a getGridIndex MyBlock and add it to the bottom of when I receive tick player script. Add the player X and player Y variables to the inputs. Now at this point, the ysort will be working correctly, but we should add a way to stop the ysorted tile from disappearing in the editor, like this. Click back into the tile sprite. We will only allow ysorting when the editor is off by adding an editor less than 1 check to our ysort MyBlock. We are finally ready to put our new ysort code to the test. Hit the green flag and add some of the ysorted tiles to the map. Press 0 to open the editor, then press P to make sure the collision pins look like this. If everything looks good, press P again to turn off the pin editor and drag in some bushes, the stump, axe, and fire pits. I press the number 3 on the keyboard to turn on onion mode. We need to place the ysorted tiles on both layer 2 and layer 3, so the game will draw the tile in front or behind our avatar. I hope you found this tutorial helpful and see how ysorting can make your game more immersive by adding the illusion of depth to your game. Thank you for watching. See you in Scratch.